Hello and welcome. In this packet tracer activity, we're going to use the Cisco command line interface commands to perform an initial router configuration. Okay, let's begin. So first off, let's go ahead and select the customer PC that is currently connected via console cable to the customer router. In here, let's go to the terminal and leave the settings default. As we continue, let's go ahead and enable and then conf T. Here within the configuration, let's go ahead and type in host name customer router with no space. And as you can see, it is no longer just plain old router, it is now customer router. This is a good way to go ahead and identify between several different routers if you're working within an ISP. At this point, let's go ahead and set up a password. So we'll go ahead and enable password Cisco. Since this is not an actual ISP that we're working with, we don't need to have any fancy passwords here. We'll just keep it simple so that way we can easily get into it in and out. Now let's go ahead and enable a secret password. So enable secret Cisco 1. Because you cannot have the same password for both of them. Okay, now that is connected. Next up, we're going to go ahead and configure the console password. So to do this, we need to get into the line console. From here, we're going to type in line space console space 0. Now we're inside the line commands. We'll type in password Cisco 123. Enter. Login, so that way it goes in and attempts for a login. Exit. And usually people will want to go ahead and save the work. But since we haven't gotten into exactly saving work, we'll not worry about that exactly right now, since this is also a short little activity here. So at this point, let's go ahead and go into line VTY, which is for our virtual LAN. So line space VTY 04. And then let's go ahead and set up this password here as Cisco 123 as well. So, password Cisco 123, login as well, exit. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to configure a message of the day banner. So to do this, at this point, we're going to type in, first of all, service password encrypt. The reason we want to do this is to avoid the security risk of someone looking over your shoulder basically while you're typing in these passwords, and it allows it so that way they can't see what you're putting in. So service password dash encryption. Okay. Now let's go ahead and set up the MOTD, or message of the day banner. So banner MOTD space, and then you need to start and end your commands with the $, so that way it knows where it starts and where it ends. So let's try authorized access only. Then end it with the $sign. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and test it. Alright. Let's exit out of this. And then we'll exit one more time. There we go. Now let's return. Authorized access only. User access verification. So let's go ahead and type in password. Now, as you can see, if it's incorrect, it just asks for you for the password again. And there we go. We're into the router. From here, let's go ahead and type in enable. Actually, let me correct that. Let's try enable with an M. Now, see here, when you don't have the proper commands, sometimes it thinks it's something else, and it's going to be translating enable for a domain server. Now, we don't want this to happen. So to prevent this, we're going to go ahead and say, after this is done, we're going to change some of the configurations so that way it doesn't try and look up a domain that is not what you have wanting to type in for a command, because otherwise this takes a long time. So after that is done searching for it, it'll say that an unknown command or computer name, and it's unable to find it. So like I was saying, we're going to go ahead and go enable. And then after you've typed in your password, we're going to go ahead and go on conft again. And we will type in no IP domain dash lookup. Make sure I have that correct. Okay. And then that way, like I said, it will not try and look up domain name if you have typed in an incorrect command. Saves you lots of time. Okay, then after this, we're going to go ahead and end this. And we will do copy, run, start. This is the command that you want to go ahead and type in when you need to save your work. You say copy, run, start, enter, and then it'll ask you if it's going to be that destination file name. Just hit enter again. It automatically is yes, and then it saves it. And then all your work is saved, and you can power it off, and then later on power it back on, and everything works fine. So let's go ahead and log out of here. So exit. Then we'll go ahead and go back in. Enable. And you can see how everything is saved because of how it shows that your message of the day and has asked you for the passwords and whatnot. Again, thank you for watching my video.